Breaking tonight, President Trump doing what he does best at a raucous rally in one of the states that helped put him over the top in 2016. Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Jeanine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. And thanks to all of you for once again making Justice the most watched cable news show last Saturday. We have a big show on deck tonight with reaction to President Trump's rousing speech that just finished up, plus the developing news of a summit between the president and Kim Jong-un. Tonight, I'll be talking with Corey Lewandowski, Sean Spicer, Colonel Allen West, and more, plus my opening statement. But first, some highlights from the president tonight.
They announced that he's not going to send missiles up anymore until through the meetings. Well, think of that. You know, we were getting a lot of missiles sent. I wouldn't say Japan was thrilled, missiles flying over Japan. They're very happy with what I'm doing. And who else could do it? I mean, honestly, when you think. They're not going to send missiles up. Think of it. They're not sending missiles up. And I believe that. I believe that. I really do. I think they want to do something. I think they want to make peace. I think it's time. And I think we've shown great strength. I think that's also important. They say they want to stop the missiles. They want to denuclearize. They want to do all of these things. And all of these people are like, they can't believe it. It's unbelievable. I said to my wife, I said, you know, it's amazing. They're really nice tonight. It's really amazing. They're all saying this is an incredible achievement. This is okay. Then I get up in the morning. Some time goes by. Right? Same people. They're saying, not that big a deal. Anybody could have done it. Obama could have done it. Obama had a chance. No. They're saying, Obama. Obama was driving you down. You take a look at those numbers before we took over. They were heading down. The economy is the best it's ever been. Your coal, by the way, folks, some of you are in the coal world. Your coal is coming back big. Your steel is coming back. We've created 3 million jobs since Election Day. Nobody thought that was possible. We've passed the largest tax cuts and reform in American history. We've created more than 300,000 new jobs alone last month. But our new slogan, when we start running in, can you believe it, 2 years from now, is going to be, keep America great, exclamation point. Keep America great.
President Trump firing up supporters in Moon Township, Pennsylvania. We'll hear much more from the president later this hour, but now my opening statement. Genius is rarely recognized at the time it occurs. Greatness most often realized not in the moment, but rather in retrospect. As President Trump waged his unique battle to get North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-un to the bargaining table, he was roundly criticized for his style, telling Kim Jong-un as he continued to launch his nuclear warheads on intercontinental ballistic missiles that Kim would be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. And Trump threatening in no uncertain terms that his nuclear button was bigger and more powerful than the dictator's. And in that back and forth, Kim threatens to send a birthday gift on Independence Day to the American bastards. The name-calling was unprecedented. Madman, rogue, gangster, frightened, barking dog, dotard, Rocket Man, Little Rocket Man. The criticism, of course, by the American media was relentless. The narrative was that Trump was instigating a nuclear holocaust, that the United States was giving Kim Jong-un no out other than nuclear war. This, in spite of the fact that Kim was repeatedly launching ballistic missiles, threatening their reach to Guam, Hawaii, and the mainland. Trump, of course, in his usual fashion, was undeterred. All the while continuing to impose a slew of economic sanctions, warning that if forced to defend ourselves or our allies, we would have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. So here we are, March 10th, Little Rocket Man seeking to sit down with the President of the United States. Never in our history or theirs has this happened. No other president could accomplish this. Not Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, not Bill Clinton, not George W. Bush, and certainly not Barack Obama. All either incapable or unwilling to confront a predictable impending disaster that Trump warned of in 1999, long before he became president. Don't believe me? Listen to the president just 2 hours ago.
You know, they're saying, oh, well, Obama could have done that. Trust me, he couldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done that. He would not have done it. And by the way, neither would Bush and neither would Clinton. And they had their shot, and all they did was nothing.
In the case of Bill Clinton, it's even worse. He gave more than $4 billion to Kim's father in exchange for North Korea's disbanding and dismantling its nuclear weapons program.
This is a good deal for the United States. North Korea will freeze and then dismantle its nuclear program. South Korea and our other allies will be better protected. The entire world will be safer as we slow the spread of nuclear weapons. The United States and international inspectors will carefully monitor North Korea to make sure it keeps its commitments.
Yeah, that worked out real well, Bill. Not only did they not keep their commitment, they built a nuclear armament to threaten our people. So much for the Bill Clinton, Neville Chamberlain appeasement approach to dictators. As far as George Bush in 2008, he did his part in appeasing Kim Jong-il by actually removing, I said removing, North Korea from the American State Department's list of state sponsors of terrorism. He really had a grasp on the issues, that one. And Barack Obama, in his inimitable fashion and with language we've all heard before, said he was going to, quote, work with all the interested partners in the international community to take appropriate steps to let North Korea know they cannot threaten other countries with impunity. Now, what does that mean? Whatever it meant, it didn't scare Kim. Now, instead of recognizing the historic moment and the genius that got a wackadoo madman to the bargaining table, the mainstream media chooses to heap criticism on Donald Trump when their own champions accomplished absolutely nothing.
In some ways, the president kind of got boxed in here. He couldn't say no to this invitation.
There is no way that President Trump can be ready by May to have a high-stakes negotiation on denuclearization on the Korean Peninsula. It's just impossible. You can't wing it. Kim Jong-un is going to be fully prepared. I think that he's playing to the president's ego and the president's weaknesses.
It's not as if you have a president like Eisenhower, who was schooled in diplomacy and politics and the military, who knew these issues. This president doesn't read, and he doesn't study, and he doesn't prepare.
And, of course, the New York Times says that Donald Trump could end up being played by Kim like, quote, a gold-plated violin. But one more thing. Kim Jong-un knows full well that he comes to discuss full-blown denuclearization, full nuclear disarmament, not a freeze, not a reduction. And he also knows he is not dealing with a Barack Obama who buckles to dictators like in Iran when he caved and gave $150 billion, taxpayers' dollars, to so-called stop the development of a nuclear bomb. And get this, we're not even in a position to verify or monitor if there is nuclear disarmament or even do site inspections. And rest assured, there will be no cash sent on unmarked planes in various world currencies. Count on a new and totally different agreement with teeth with Donald Trump. It was Trump's genius in crippling economic sanctions that brought this dictator to his knees. And although the mainstream media is worried, predicting that Trump will be outsmarted and outplayed by this dictator, in truth, the only people who need to be worried are the North Koreans. Donald Trump is more than the man Kim thinks he is. He has already outsmarted him, and that can get us a peace deal that will certainly last a long, long time.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Rocket Man.
Joining me now with reaction to President Trump's speech and all of the developing news on North Korea, former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski. All right, good evening, Corey. So, You heard the
evening, Judge.
president's speech, I assume?
I did.
All right. Well, he was in typical form. I would say rare form, but that's typical for him in front of a group of thousands, correct?
Look, I love Donald Trump when he's in front of 20,000 people talking directly to the American people. He is so good. He is so captivating. And what he did tonight was remind the American people by bypassing the mainstream media of all the accomplishments of this administration. Yeah. He still gets no credit for Judge Neil Gorsuch, for all of the justices he's put on the Supreme Court, for the historic tax cuts that he has delivered for the American people. The mainstream media don't want to talk about it, so he gets out and he talks about it, and the American people are reminded every time they open their paycheck that because of Donald Trump, they have more money.
I want you to listen to one of the things that he said about Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters, a very low IQ individual. You ever see her? You ever see her? We will impeach him. We will impeach the president. But he hasn't done anything wrong. It doesn't matter. We will impeach him. She's a low IQ individual. You can't help it. She really is.
Well, you know what? I have to tell you, that was a long time coming because she started before he even took office. What do you think of his now focusing on her low IQ? Is that going to stick?
Well, it's Maxine Waters, it's Nancy Pelosi, it's Pocahontas, it's all the same people that have been attacking this president and not helping him put an agenda together which the American people want to support, which is less taxes, less regulation. Look what he's done on the regulation side. This president has done everything that he's campaigned on, that he has pledged to fulfill, including the tariffs on foreign countries that are dumping this steel and aluminum on our soil, and all they can say is, let's impeach him. There's nothing to impeach him for other than standing up for Americans.
And you know what's amazing, Corey, is the fact that, I mean, when you look at Hispanic unemployment, African-American unemployment, you look at all the jobs that are coming to this country. I mean, you would think that those people, who feel forgotten by other administrations at least would recognize that there is something good here. But I want to ask you something, Corey. In your other life, you were in law enforcement, correct?
I was, yes.
Okay. How do you feel about what's going on in California? And the president talked about this tonight, sanctuary cities. And, this mayor where the Department of Justice is coming after her and California for pretty much warning illegals, not just illegals, the chambermaids, but the criminal illegals that were coming for them.
Well, Judge, I'll tell you, as someone who's a first responder who went out on the job every day and unfortunately had the unfortunate duty of serving in 3 funerals for 3 officers in the state of New Hampshire who were killed in the line of duty, I can tell you this. It is unforgivable that elected officials warn people that police officers who are sworn to do their jobs are coming to do a duty that they are tasked to do, and to give criminals a heads up that they will be coming against the very nature of the individuals who are serving them every day to keep them safe is so disgusting to me. I hope the Justice Department prosecutes them to the fullest extent of the law.
Well, do you have faith that Jeff Sessions will?
Well, I think Jeff on this one is very tough. I think what he's done on MS-13 is tough. And I can tell you, I think Jeff is going to do the right thing when it comes to appointing a new special prosecutor to look at these Pfizer application abuses.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, he's been talking about it. He's thinking about it. I don't know how long it's going to take him to think about it. But it seems to me that with the Pfizer court and all the abuses that we've heard of, I mean, that is fundamental. The most secret court in the United States being played by the Clinton campaign as well as the DNC. And finally, what do you think of this meeting with Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un? I kind of think that Kim wants to meet him. I really do.
Well, look, Judge, you know the president very well. He is so gracious and so magnanimous in private, but he's the greatest negotiator our country's ever seen. And I can tell you this, the people of South Korea, the people of Hawaii, the people of Guam, they can sleep better at night because Donald Trump has pledged to take a meeting, which means no nuclear testing will continue. And if that isn't success, then I don't know what is. He should be up for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, let's hope so. Corey Lewandowski, it's so good to see you, Corey. Take care.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and Colonel Alan West is still on deck tonight to weigh in on the president's speech. Plus, what does President Trump's original White House press secretary think about North Korean summit and tonight's rally? You're going to find out when I'm joined live by the one and only Sean Spicer right here next.